So I'm here with Mark Zuckerberg, CEO and founder of Facebook, and new investor Yuri Milner from Digital Sky Technologies. Hey guys.
Hi.
First of all, congratulations to both of you. You've got some more money, Mark, and Yuri, you've got a piece of Facebook. How much do you own? It's a $10 billion valuation.
1.96%.
1.96%. Plus, there'll be more when you buy common stock in a couple of months.
Yes.
Yeah.
Depends. We'll see how much.
Okay. Why did you invest in Facebook?
It's a great business.
You're comfortable with the $10 billion valuation?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I can repeat the reasons why. Basically, I think we have a very unique perspective on social networks monetization that other investors don't necessarily see. We see how social networks have been monetized in our part of the world, and we're just doing our math and coming up with the numbers that we feel very comfortable with going forward. So we don't really value this business on PE basis 2009, but rather on kind of a longer term curve based again on our experience, and we're very confident that these numbers can be achieved.
And are you, what revenue numbers are you looking at for 2009?
Well, we, it's a question for Mark. We've done our due diligence, but I'm not sure I can disclose it.
Is it 550 million, Mark? Is that what you're telling investors?
Like anyone who's doing diligence on the company gets to see the forecasts. We've said three things about. I'm so confused about whether to look into the camera.
Camera's best. Yeah, it works
out.
Is it? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so. We've said three things publicly about our finances for this year, and one is that we've been EBITDA profitable for 5 quarters. Another is that revenue is growing 70% year over year, at least, and that is we're really happy with, just given the economic climate. And then the third is that we expect that on our forecast we'll be cash flow positive in 2010 on the cash level that we had before doing this investment. So that really made it so that when we were thinking about doing this, we had a lot of optionality as to pick the partner that would be best for us, find the terms that would make the most sense for us. And a lot of the investments in the portfolio that Yuri and DST have were really attractive for us in terms of the insight and understanding that they have in the space. So you were just talking about this a bit, but it's really interesting how all of the different Russian social networks, which he has stakes in all of them, monetize in different ways, but all very effectively, right? So we're not looking at that and saying, we want to do any of those specific models right now, but it is a very directional, it is an interesting directional indicator of how far we can expect things to scale. And I think, when coming up with the valuation analysis, I think that's why it was so simple for you to do. But that's kind of how we were thinking.
Would you have paid a higher valuation? What was your top price?
That's the question that you never ask after it's done, because if I don't want to know the answer to that.
Yes, but I'd love to know the answer to that. Are you a Facebook user?
Yes.
When did you create your account?
It was not an extremely active account.
Yeah.
But it will be more active now.
Yeah.
Especially.
You're going to be clicking those ads. Yeah. And you have friends?
I've been using more like local networks in Russia.
Okay.
But
you're gonna stop doing that as much.
I will just use more.
You're gonna social network a lot more. Yeah.
Yes. I'm just a big fan of social networks.
How popular is Facebook in Russia? Just on the streets talking to people, is Facebook the thing?
Among people who kind of travel a lot and had exposure to the United States and some other countries, they do have accounts, but Russia is not exactly the place with multiple language skills.
Yeah.
So local networks kind of had an edge.
Mm-hmm.
But going forward, it's not inconceivable that people will be members of 2 social networks. That's what we see in Russia. Between our properties, I think about 30% of people just have multiple accounts, and they're not really migrating, which is interesting.
How do you feel about that? People on 2 different social networks. Does that work for you?
It's interesting and it's evolving pretty quickly. But sorry, I got to look at the camera now.
Just do whatever's comfortable. Yeah.
A lot of times people ask us about. This comes up a lot when we're talking about our platform strategy, right? Because people ask us, how we see the system evolving to become more open. And the way that I think about it is that in the early days of an industry, take for example like Apple with the PC, it really makes sense to have one company doing the whole thing to kind of birth the concept and bring it out to the market. But over time, if it's a really important industry, then what'll happen is people will specialize and people will do different aspects of it, right? So just like happened with the PC, and you get companies that focused on chips, companies that focused on other parts of hardware, companies that focused on software applications, operating systems, etc. I think we're going to see more and more of that with social networking as well. So what started off as one monolithic thing will end up becoming a more decentralized model, and that's a lot of what we're trying to do with Facebook Connect. Now, I think a big implication of that is that people will use different services.
Facebook Connect, is that the Intel, the Microsoft, or the Dell in your analogy? Or do you want to stick with Apple?
To take analogies too far.
So we'll stick with the Apple analogy to start, and then
So yeah, and I think it just, I mean, there are any number of examples of kind of the start of industry is starting off centralized, becoming more decentralized. And I think that one of the natural implications of that is that people will use multiple services and that the services will interoperate. And I think that that's kind of the world that we're moving towards.
Yeah, and Facebook will be the plumbing.
Hopefully we'll provide a lot of utility in being people's, and kind of helping people share their identity and communicating with their friends and the people around them.
So kind of a combined Microsoft Intel. I don't expect you to answer. I do have one question though that's been sort of on the top of my mind. We met late last year, November, December, and we talked about funding at that time. And you had said, look, we're open to investing more at the $15 billion valuation. We're not really actively looking. We're talking to some people. I don't want to misquote you, but basically what you said was, we're open to raising more at that valuation. Now, clearly things have changed, and there's no reason why things wouldn't change. But can you just talk me through like the difference between now and then? Because you talk about, if anything, your financial situation has gotten significantly stronger.
Yeah. So let me try to clarify
you almost didn't
that.
need to raise this money based on what you're saying.
No, I mean, we did this to increase our option value for the future. So we have no plans to use the money immediately, and we may never use it, right? I mean, we may use it to make an acquisition or to open up data centers or something like that. I mean, if some strategic option makes itself available now we might be able to do it, whereas otherwise we wouldn't have been able to. That's the option value that we gained through this investment. Just to clarify where we were before, what I was trying to kind of explain was our approach towards the follow-ons after Microsoft, right? So there was the Microsoft investment at the $15 billion valuation, and then there were a series of other investments that we did afterwards at the same terms, and that was basically an analogous approach to us, where we weren't going out saying, okay, we need this money, we want to find the money on, and basically on whatever terms it comes on, we'll get it. We kind of said, okay, if people want to invest at these terms that we think are good terms and we're really comfortable with the people, then we'll go ahead and do that. And that's really similar to where we are now. I mean, obviously the market is in a lower position, so that the terms aren't exactly the same, but fundamentally this wasn't a financing where we said, okay, we need to go out and raise this money to make our operating plan work. It was more one where people started approaching us, and I mean, these conversations have been going on for a while, right? I don't remember the last time that we talked about this, but basically we've been talking to folks for a while, and recently it kind of got to the stage where we realized, okay, we have good caliber people that we're talking to, the terms are in a good range, let's actually go do this thing. And then we kind of finalized, we want to work with Yuri and DST, and then we nailed it all down.
Okay. How close did you get with General Atlantic and Silver Lake?
I mean, we talked to a number of firms earlier in the process, and as I was just saying, just because I think things are going really well and growing quickly, I think a number of different
things are definitely growing. How many 30 million users a month you're adding? Is that right? It's about 30.
No,
right?
I think
25, 30.
It's growing quickly.
Comscore's over 300 million now.
Yeah,
it's like the whole internet.
Our internal numbers are lower.
There's no one left,
right? Because I mean, Comscore is tracking all the unique visitors,
sure,
where we're focusing on active users. But yeah, no, it's growing really quickly. So I mean, a bunch of folks just approach us to do different things, and as time went on, we kind of zeroed in on where we wanted to be, and that's when we really started talking seriously about what the final terms would be, and that's where we are now.
How many acquisitions will you make this year, if you just had to guess? I mean, you're clearly going to get more active in that.
So unless I'm missing something, we've made one acquisition.
Yeah.
And it was this talent acquisition, which in my mind was one of the coolest things that we've done. I mean, we got two exceptionally bright guys, right? And Blake Ross, who's now one of the key folks on the product side at Facebook, and Joe Hewitt, who has single-handedly built out a bunch of our mobile stuff, including the iPhone app by himself. And just really cool. So I mean, our track record, I guess you could say, we're 1 for 1, and might make us want to explore more of that. But I mean, honestly, to me, being cash flow positive is also really important. So I'm not looking to take this money and go do a bunch of things with it immediately, right? I think we will continue looking at talent acquisitions just as we have over the last period of time, and if any make a lot of sense, then we'll surely go ahead and do it. And this money might make it a little bit more possible for that to happen, but the plan isn't to use it for that.
All right, great. Yuri, more investments to come in the U.S.?
Well, we have stage 2 coming, so let's complete this one and then have a look.
Okay, great. Thanks very much for your time, guys.
Thanks.